I've been good, man. Taking care of the family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might come back. We'll see.
Been offered anything?
Let me see. Off anything like what?
Fight.
I mean, I get offered stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Fights, shoes, I don't know. We'll see.
Charlo, and then I'll have Errol Spence.
So Errol Spence at 154, maybe 12 months from
Yeah,
now.
if he wants to come to the big boy division, then yeah.
It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight, and it's been so long, and the ring rust and the accident, the injury. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has got.
Errol Spence Jr. breaks his silence ahead of his return against Tim Tszyu, showing sharp focus, intense training, and the determination of a man set on a powerful 2026 comeback.
Man, I'm working. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't wake me up for real.
Nah, bro. Nah. Hey, going on vacation.
Spence confirms his intention to return in 2026, dismissing all retirement talk with plans for a full comeback fight.
And so it was for me to help him realize that. That was pretty crazy. For him to come back in the gym and me to be holding mitts and be looking at him, you know, you can't believe it. I think it's like the biggest comeback in professional sports. If you don't believe in yourself, why should I? And he
Spence reveals that after his tough loss to Terrence Crawford, many tried to convince him to walk away from boxing, but he refused to let doubt define his legacy.
I think I can take this guy.
It's a fight that wakes me up, you know? Wakes me up. You know those fights that you feel like a challenge? Like the Tony Harrison fight for me was like alright, I've got to wake up. This is the fight. And it brings something different in your brain, in your body. You learn more about yourself. You just become a different person, a different animal. And that's another fight that will...
Tim Tszyu admits this matchup has woken him up, saying he'll be a completely different animal when he steps in against Spence.
He's sort of needs a comeback fight himself. Tim needs a little bit of a comeback himself. He just had a small win over Velasquez. He's going to keep trying to work his way back in. So you look at the fight on paper and you think, this is a sellable, marketable fight. And, you know, between two guys who need to work their way back in. And, you know, the winner is two big names, so the winner obviously creates a real drawing power to himself again.
Paulie Malignaggi believes Tszyu also needs his own comeback moment, calling the matchup highly marketable because both fighters carry compelling storylines.
Do you think we can see another run from Spence at 54?
Honestly, this is only my opinion, nephew. You know how I am. I don't want to see Spence back in the ring. I think he went through so much with everything, the accidents and everything else. It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight, and it's been so long, and the ring rust and the accident, the injury. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has gotten, be a cow.
Trainer Andre Rozier says Spence shouldn't return at all, citing injuries, accidents, and the toll of his career. In his view, the risks outweigh the reward even if Spence is recovering well.
I assume it's got to be difficult for a guy of his stature and, you know, going out the way he did. I'm pretty sure he wants to get that get back and kind of show at least, you know, I do have a little bit left in the tank.
Well, it could be, but I'm just saying from the perspective of an individual, an athlete that has gone through so many trials and tribulations, I think at this point in time, it's not going to help him. If he wants to get a win and then call it a day, I could co-sign to that. But for him to think he's going to relaunch his career, especially at 54.
Rozier doubles down, saying he doesn't want to see Spence back in the ring. He'd rather see the former champion living peacefully on his ranch instead of risking more damage at 154 pounds. He highlights concerns about ring rust, weight changes, and potential harm. Still, he acknowledges the pull of the sport. Fighters like Spence always want to show they have something left. If Spence returns, Rosier hopes it's for one farewell fight, not a full career restart.
Yo, a man that you have obviously fought, there was reports last night that apparently he'll be returning in the summer, Errol Spence Jr versus Tim Tszyu. I mean, what do you make of that return? Obviously 3 years at the ring for himself. Just what do you make of his return?
I'm excited as well, I wish that I would have fought, him back in the day, but, it's exciting. I met Tim Tszyu when I was in Australia, and it'll be interesting to see them two meet and lock on, so, I'll be watching that, and I'll be excited to see, the winners. You never.
Kelbrook gives his honest take, calling Spence vs Tszyu an exciting and unpredictable matchup. He says Spence's skill, ring IQ, and experience remain dangerous, even after a long layoff. But Tszyu's pressure, hunger, and physicality could cause major problems. To Brook, their styles should blend into action-packed rounds, making it a must-watch fight.
Tim is a PBC guy in the States. These guys are PBC guys. You look for the correct possible matchup at this stage in their careers. It starts to make sense, so, you don't see it. How do I see it? I don't know. I mean, Spence hasn't fought in decades, feels like, even Charlo. So I don't know. How do you know what's left out of those guys mentally, physically? You don't know, Obviously with Tim, there's a lot of question marks. He's just come back with a win, but at least Tim is trying to stay busy and active. With those guys, it's hard to say. You haven't seen them. You don't know how their training's going, if their training is even going, and how they are mentally and physically at this point in their life and their careers.
Tim's team copped a lot of criticism, his old team, should I say, about walking him into people like Fundora on short notice, or Murtazalayev unknown, or taking a rehydration clause on the IBF.
Paulie Nalignaggi offers a cautious breakdown. He notes Tszyu was a PBC fighter, meaning the matchup makes business sense. But Spence's long inactivity makes things uncertain. Nobody truly knows what he has left, mentally or physically.
Him sitting on, but is it not just rewriting the books again?
With Spence, you don't know what's left. He's not looked very good, so it might be one of those cases where you're catching him at the right time. But then again, Spence may feel that about Tszyu as well, right? Yeah. You might catch him at the right time. It's one of those things where the matchup makes sense because both guys might be catching one another at the right time. But you're gonna get a winner out of the fight, and the winner can, move on to possibly a title fight. As far as the criticism for Tim and his team, there's going to be a lot of opinions, but the person that has skated the most criticism, that deserves the most criticism.
Nalignaggi adds that Tszyu also carries question marks, even though he's remained active and recently picked up a win. He explains that inactivity makes fighters hard to judge, and Tsyu's old team has faced criticism for risky decisions. Putting him straight in with Spence creates uncertainty because both men are unpredictable at this stage.
In a second. You know what? I'll just show you right now. Why wait? I mean, why should we wait? So, right off rip, this is a video from Iran, the Junkyard Dog Peterson. He is a fighter out of Philly. Terrible joint. Beautiful joint, right? If some people are like, what do you mean, beautiful John? What is it? Like, some of you guys, you don't know what I'm talking about. You got to be on Instagram. That's where I seen it, right? You got to know. If you know, you know. And he looking in shape. So we'll play the video. It's not much to it, and I can't play the music for copyright reasons. But you see them conversating. And when you look at Errol Spence, Paul, you can see he got like a little bit of sheen, like sweat, like he was putting it, he did some form of a workout. And the caption read like, "Till next time, my ninja," from Iran. So many people believe that the two sparred. That's just what it is. Now, if you know boxing, or if you don't know, I'll tell you, Iran has...
Analysts note fresh training footage of Spence in Philadelphia. A clip shared by Jaya Peterson shows Spence calm, focused, and in shape, one glove wrapped, arms defined, sweat still glistening. It's clear evidence that the comeback camp has unofficially started.
I remember we had a chance to buy up the Metropolis, the Dallas Metropolis, when you was on top of the world. You said call me, I called you, nothing happened. But that's besides the point. I know you got a lot of money. I know you got your farm, your, what they call it? Probably got a zoo by now, right? But here's the reality of this thing. If you fight Tim Tszyu for $2 to $3 million, listen to what I'm saying. This is what Vegas is telling me. If you fight Tim Tszyu and have to go to Australia, you've destroyed your brand. Literally destroyed your brand. Why did you destroy your brand? Because they need to come to Dallas to fight you so you get all the money. Do you understand? You got to rebuild yourself. You don't go chasing dollars when you can spend the next 3 or 4 years building your...
More footage reveals Spence sharpening his skills in Philadelphia, looking lean, confident, and committed to rebuilding himself ahead of a possible showdown.
Keith Thurman. The third fight can be Fondora. The third fight can be whoever you want it to be. But you will not have any market value going to Australia and getting a guaranteed purse. You need to bet on yourself. Fight somebody who's 27-3, never been knocked out, 14 knockouts, and has been in the ring with a champion. That's what you need to do at 154.
Returning after nearly 3 years away is no easy task. Spence hasn't fought since the one-sided loss to Crawford, a defeat that raised serious questions about his form, timing, and confidence. Instead of easing into a tune-up, he's jumping straight into a dangerous fight against a hungry Tszyu, showing real courage and belief in himself.
He's going to wash him, but what it is he going to continue right after that fight? Is he going to proceed facing elite fighters at 154? Fondora, who is a 154-pound champion, Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, does he still have that championship mentality? Mind you guys, he's coming off of a 3-year layoff, especially coming off of a devastating loss with Crawford. And to add salt to the wound, the whole car accident thing, which a lot of people want to use as an excuse for the Crawford.
Sean Porter weighs in, saying many fighters chase big fights and big paydays even when they're no longer performing at their peak, just like Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia did. He believes Spence may be seeking the same, a major fight and a chance to test how he feels under the lights.
I think fighters get to a point where they want this, but they haven't been performing there. And I think that might be the case with Errol Spence Jr. Certainly was the case, in my opinion, with Keith Thurman and also with Danny Garcia. I feel, even though they did battle injuries, I felt another big part of that was they wanted big pay against lower opponent. They didn't want to come back and get big pay against a big opponent. It's a part of the game, and I got a feeling that that's what Errol's looking at right now. I think Errol's looking at how can I, get the money that I'm used to getting, and for the sake of words, he's got to get his feet wet again. He's got to see how.
Porter points out major concerns, including Spence having no confirmed coach and questions about his readiness. Still, Porter says money often pushes fighters back into the ring. He admits he would bet on Spence returning, noting Spence's resilience. He's not going out like that.
Right now with Errol, I'm not sure if he makes a comeback. This, unfortunately, is the one thing that I do know. Most fighters walk away until they have to come back, and usually it's the finance situation that brings them back. Certainly hope that doesn't end up being the case with Errol. If I had to bet on it right now, I would bet that Errol makes a comeback. I would bet that Errol makes a comeback because what we saw from him in his last match against Tim Crawford, that was just how that fight went. But at the end of the day, and we can tell by how he kept getting up, that ain't who he is. And he ain't going out like that. So that being said, I guess I said a whole lot. Yeah, Errol comes back. If Errol don't come back, then that, to me, that means he's good with where he...
Spence is coming off the most damaging loss of his career to Terrence Bud Crawford, where he was dropped multiple times and lost his undefeated streak. Add in the car crash, eye surgeries, and the departure of his longtime trainer, there's serious wear and tear. Now, Spence has brought in the legendary Roy Jones Jr. to help evaluate what's left. Jones's brilliance is undeniable, but his unique fighting style is hard to teach, making this new partnership both uncertain and fascinating.
Damage to Terrence Bud Crawford, the biggest fight in his career for Undisputed. So he got dropped 3 times in a fight for the first time in his career. Being on the canvas, he got dropped 3 times. Then the first loss of his career. Then he don't have the only trainer he knew in his entire career. On top of that, he suffered that horrific car accident. He had the multiple eye surgeries, right? Just a lot of physical damage and unknown with Errol Spence. And now Errol Spence has brought in a legend, an icon, Hall of Famer, in Roy Jones Jr., who can be considered in the eyes of many as the greatest fighter in boxing. As a trainer, Roy Jones is saying he's in Dallas today. See how Errol Spence responds, see what he has left in the tank, see what his abilities can be, and what has he lost and what has he not lost, right? So there's a lot they're gauging today to see, you know, if it's a good fit that they work together, right? Now, Roy Jones is a fighter who fought in a style and a manner in which just can't be taught. It can't be taught, right? And Roy Jones as a trainer, no slight or disrespect, has not been very successful at the highest level as a trainer, right?
Like it, comment it, subscribe to Fight Vault Boxing Glove.